So as a father, this is probably the worst call you can get for one of your kids. Andreas called me and said he's crashed the car and he's in a ditch.
It's a call you hope you're never gonna get.
He said there was no other cars involved. He was driving sensibly and within the speed limit. And it was purely an accident. Well, I've got the dash cam, so I'm gonna see if he was telling the truth. This video is sponsored by SAFTEY. So obviously with not knowing what's going on, panic stations kick in. First question is, are you okay? And he's like, yes, I'm okay, but my car's stuck in a ditch. Told me where it was, and lucky it was about 8 minutes away from my house. So I jumped in the car and flew over there. As I pulled up, I see him standing there. He seemed okay. You could tell he was in shock. Obviously, it's his first car accident. He's only been driving a little while now. Came over, gave me a hug, emotional. So I've tried to calm him down. And once I've calmed him down and we're now talking sensibly, I'm like, right, okay, we need to get this car out the ditch. The problem is the road that it's on, cars are coming past all the time. You can't pull over, you can't stop anywhere. So I've just literally parked on the side of the road as best I could and looked. He said he tried to get the car out. Some people were helping him initially before I got there and they were trying to push him, he was stuck in there. Luckily I've got a friend of mine at Lanterns who I called straight away and I was like, this situation, he's like, send me the location.
And Lanterns, my guys, they got here well quick. I got here within 8 minutes and they're here in about 14 minutes, so wicked.
I don't know what damage is done to the car. I don't really care because he's fine. So as they start pulling the car out the ditch, I'm like, this actually looks all right. Initially, I looked in the car to see there was no airbag gone off. And as the car comes out, besides from a curbed wheel and some little bit of damage to the wrap, no lights were damaged, no grille on the front of the car, the wheels looked okay. It was actually like a miracle and like a blessing that he was fine, no other cars were involved, no one else was hurt, and the car was okay.
You're safe, you're fine, you're alive. We've all been there. I've been there, I've done it. I've done it when I was 19. There's a sign, we're messing up the whole road. As you can see here. Also don't help that I'm standing on the side of the road with a Yiannimize t-shirt on. Big advertisement, yeah? Lucky one in your ears. Yeah, lucky one in my ears. Yeah, cheers for that. I'll come in the X6 to make sure. Your exhaust is really low. Don't worry about that. He's had his first accident. He's broken his car accident virginity. Obviously we'll get this home and we'll look at it.
Hold on guys, we're gonna move, yeah?
You've checked the steering and everything looks okay, doesn't it?
It looks okay, vigilant.
He got very lucky, didn't he? Very lucky.
Mate,
no airbags. He's got to learn by this.
Very lucky.
Been very lucky. God was watching over him today.
So I got the car out, he drove the car to my house, but while we're there, we've done a few checks on the car just to make sure it seemed okay, does it drive straight, etc.
So no airbags, nothing's gone off.
I landed forward on the left side. No damage.
No, he landed forward on the right side. All the damage is there. He's still dazed, he's still confused, but Andrew, there's nothing wrong with you, thank God. And the car, whatever, we'll replace the car if we needed to, but honestly, when you called me and you told me what had happened, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a horrible phone call. And I know my parents have experienced that phone call with me in the past because when I was 20, I had a Renault 1916 valve and I wrote off my car and 2 other cars. And I got banned for 12 months for dangerous driving and I was acting the fool. So with this one here, Andreas wasn't acting the fool. I think just the fact that he's a new driver and obviously I think there's like a dip in the road and it's sort of thrown him off. So obviously it's thrown him one way and you can see from the footage that he's tried to turn into the skid and it's thrown him the other way and he was doing about 45 and I think it was 50 or 60 limit and put him into the ditch. It wasn't raining, it was dry. And the fact the ditch wasn't ridiculous was okay and there was no tree. You would have seen another video where he just passed his test and he actually hit the corner of his car and he said, oh, I reversed into something. It wasn't my fault, someone was directing me. And he goes, I wish I had a dash cam in the car. You know what, if the dash cams were fitted, yeah, then we would have known, we would have known the truth.
I wish they were fitted.
So we would have seen the guy directing you. I didn't necessarily believe him. Whereas this time, imagine, I got the phone call, him telling me I didn't do nothing, I've just crashed. And then I've turned up to the scene, the car's in a ditch. I can see some skid marks on the road thinking, what the hell? I don't know what I would have necessarily believed. The fact he had the dash cam there, we could see exactly what happened from the front and from the rear. He was in the speed limit, he was unlucky with what happened and he wasn't messing around. So this happened a couple of months ago. Obviously we haven't put the video out, and the reason being is I was waiting for the new 70mm DashCam A5 10 sets, and I want to give one of these away to one of you guys as a thank you, because I'm grateful that this saved my son and showed me everything that actually did happen. So all you've got to do is comment in the section and say why you think you should win this. It's free of charge. Drop a comment and hopefully you'll be safe. And if God forbid something happens, you're able to capture it all right here, like I did with my son. The A510 shoots in QHD rather than 4K, but still uses a Sony Starbis lens and still packs a ton of features, including their very impressive 4G connectivity functions, meaning you can access all of the features from your phone. Instant app alerts, app live streaming, find my car, real-time route tracking, smart parking guardian mode enabled by collision detection, time-lapse recording, stunning day and night front and rear visual clarity. All you need to do is comment below and shout out to Stefan from Liverpool, who won the last DashCam we gave away. You could be our next winner. This could have been 100 times worse. And this video I'm putting out is for young drivers to be like, listen, you need to be careful. At any point, you can have an accident, whether it's your fault or not your fault, and you should just think about it and think, you know what, I need to slow down. He wasn't speeding, so there's not really much I can say to him, but he got very, very lucky. So earlier in the year, you would have seen that I took him to like a stunt school for these actual reasons. I took him and Nicholas, that if he does get into a skid or he loses control, that he can try and bring it back. I can only base it by the footage that I've seen from his dash cam. I don't know if there was anything he could have done. The initial thing is you turn into the skid, you hit the brake, and you try and slow down. He did spin out and obviously ended up in the ditch. I don't know if I would have done anything different. I think the fact that it was dry worked in his favor, because if it was wet, he could have really shot off and picked up some serious speed while he's in skid mode. But that is why I took him on that course. So I don't know if it helped him maybe, because he did turn into the skid and he did manage to brake and bring the car to a stop without righting the car from without injuring himself. And the fact there was no tree there and no other cars around him is an absolute blessing. Andrew is a sensible driver, and the fact that he is within the speed limit, yes, he has a black box in his car, which obviously keeps him under control as well, whether he wants to do it or not. He doesn't want to lose his license and he doesn't want to get his insurance cancelled. I did also take him drag racing with me, where he drove the Urus to like 160 miles an hour. So he has experienced really high speeds. So hopefully, again, that played a part with regards to his driving and him not driving like an absolute idiot. But it was just scary. It was really, really scary. And I could see the shock on his face when I went there. And it was the first experience of him having an accident, and hopefully it'll be the last. And if this is the worst it could have been, I would take this all day long. He wasn't hurt. No one else was hurt. He didn't write off his car, and we'll take this as a lesson. But for me, that phone call, when I answered the phone, he was like, Dad, I've crashed. I'm like, okay, calm down. Are you okay? Yes, but if the car's in a ditch. I'm in the car industry, so I've got a lot of connections. So I rang my friend Ant, he was abroad, but he said to me, Jan, take the car down there, my brother's there, and he can look over the car. We drove the car there, the car drives fine, I've driven the car myself as well. Put the car off on the ramp, he done wheel alignment just to check. I think the wheel alignment was out. We were a little bit concerned on the rear axle, because it's got a flat axle on the back. It was turned in slightly. When we checked everything seemed to be fine. And I think the only other thing was, I think the plates, the heat shields underneath were loose, which he tightened up, and I think the exhaust had dropped down slightly. But overall, a couple of the wheels are curved, no big deal, and the wrap was damaged, again, no big deal. When you look at that car and you see it in the ditch, you think, oh my God, what are we gonna see here? And again, no airbags went off, so he managed to stop or get slow enough before it hit, so the impact wasn't that major. Thank you to Daniel at Lanterns for arranging that truck to come out so quick, and also the guy that came out, who was really, really cool, and even had some words with my son as well with regards to it being his first accident. Thank you to Ant for arranging the car to go in and doing all the checks and rectifying anything that was needed. And also thank you to the guys that stopped and helped when he did actually crash the car. You guys got out, you spoke to him, you even tried to get the car out of the ditch. I don't know who you guys are, but if you see this video and it was you, thank you so much, I appreciate it. I'm really grateful for having the dash cam in there. If there was a claim against my son and someone said he had done something or he was driving dangerously, that dash cam would have proved he wasn't. And the same way with the police. If they said, oh, it's dangerous driving, he put it in the ditch, you could see it actually wasn't, and he was within the speed limit. So I'm really grateful for having that in there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I put this video out there for more educational purposes and for my son to know that he got off very lightly with this video. If you're a parent, I'm sure you can show your kids this video. If you're a young driver, understand accidents can happen, whether they're your fault or not your fault. Just be safe, drive safely, and be careful.